Xiaomi Redmi Note 11 Review, a solid budget choice for design, screen and battery life. Xiaomi has launched something of an assault on the affordable smartphone market over the past couple of years with its Redmi and Poco brands, supplying frequently surprising combinations of high-quality components for a low price. The Redmi Note 11 marks this particular sub-brand's first effort of 2022, and it's another classy yet affordable effort. There aren't many well under -£200 phones out there offering the configuration that the Redmi Note 11 does. In the process of doing this, it also steps up from the Redmi Note 10 in a couple of significant ways. On this front, the Redmi Note 11 continues the good work. All of the materials are matte, from the convincingly metal effect frame to the soft-touch plastic back. The latter is a bit of a fingerprint magnet, but it feels good in the hand. The camera module is slightly less elaborate than last year's model, reflecting a more understated approach, but you can't say that's a bad decision. Around the front, the chunky bezels are a telltale sign that you're handling a cheap phone, particularly the extended chin. So too is the hole punch notch, which has a tellingly, and distractingly, shiny surround. With dimensions of 159.9 x 73, 9 by 8.1 mm and a weight of 179 grams, the Note 11 feels just right in the hand. With an IP53 rating, which is far from a given in cheaper phones, it's encouragingly robust too. It's good to see a 3.5 mm headphone jack making a return. It's easy to assume that everyone has moved to true wireless earbuds by now, but until they're bundled into the box as standard that won't be the case. Talking of welcome audio features, the Redmi Note 11 also packs a pair of stereo speakers. That's not something you see in every sub-£200 phone. Perhaps the standout component with the Redmi Note 11 is the display. It's not especially large or sharp, although at 6.43 inches in FHD+, I have no complaints in either regard. What's notable is that it's a vibrant Amoled display rather than the kind of drab LCD panel that's more common at this price point. Xiaomi hasn't skimped on the smoothness either, with a 90 Hz maximum refresh rate ensuring that content slides by nice and smoothly once activated. The Redmi Note 11 runs on Qualcomm Snapdragon 684G chip, a relatively new mid-range system on chip, SoC, backed by either 4 or 6 GB of RAM. It's a solid performer for this end of the market, with average Geekbench 5 multi-core scores that are similar to the Poco X3 NFC and way ahead of the Moto G31. Its GPU isn't quite as impressive, with GFX bench results that fall far short of the aforementioned Poco X3 NFC and the Realme 8, and are roughly equivalent to the Moto G31. One notable omission here is 5G. The Redmi Note 11 doesn't give you top-level network connectivity, which is a bit of a shame, so look elsewhere if this is important to you. In terms of storage, you get either 64 or 128 GB, as well as a micro SD/XC slot for expansion purposes. In truth, we're seeing an increasing number of affordable phones make 128 GB the minimum. Perhaps this point of regression reveals one of the ways in which Xiaomi has managed to squeeze in some of those more eye-catching components. The Redmi Note 11 is ostensibly fitted out with a quad camera system, but we know what that means by now in the budget market. In practical terms, only 2 of those sensors are of any great use, with a pair of 2MP sensors, one for depth, one for macro, serving as so much stat padding. Let's swiftly turn to the critical parts, then. The main course is a 50MP wide sensor with an f1.8 aperture, which is backed by an 8MP ultra-wide. The Redmi Note 11S and 11 Pro 5G have 108MP main sensors. It's easy to point to the relative lack of megapixels for the ultra-wide, but the simple fact is that many affordable phones forego an ultra-wide camera altogether. The main shooter does a reasonable job of capturing detailed shots, given plenty of lighting. That said, I picked up some noticeable grain even in fairly normal conditions, and the HDR effect isn't the most effective I've seen, even at this end of the market. Like most other major £200 contenders these days, the Redmi Note 11 packs in a capacious 5000 mAh battery. In my experience, a long 14-hour day of intensive usage that involved some 6 hours and 50 minutes of screen on time left me with around 40% left in the tank. That's an excellent result and means that the phone is good for 2 full days of normal usage. Xiaomi's MIUI software has never been a particular favorite, with simplistic icons and a general lack of a compelling or even cohesive visual style. MIUI 13 runs on top of Android 11 here, and it's more of the same. You still get that bafflingly pointless additional screen, largely devoid of anything, that pops up every time you install an app. While the Redmi Note 11 starts at $179 United States dollars in terms of global pricing, despite no plans to launch in the States. The UK market will only get the middle of the three SKUs at £199, which is a shame for consumer choice. It's available in graphite grey, twilight blue or star blue and is available from the official MI store as well as Amazon, Very, Argos, Laptops Direct, eBuyer. Those ordering before the 10th of March will get a free pair of Redmi Buds 3 headphones. Here are the details of the 3 Realme Note 11 SKUs. 4/64ths of a gigabyte minus $179, 4/128ths of a gigabyte minus £199 per $199, 6/128ths of a gigabyte minus $229. It's an attractive price, but there's a lot of competition around this mark, including Xiaomi's own devices mentioned earlier and the likes of Realme and Motorola. If 5G is a must, then look to phones such as the Oppo A54 5G.